This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight on the University of North Alabama, featuring conversations with UNA officials and friends of the university. This is your look inside campus. Now your host, the voice of the Lions, Benjamin Ray.
Welcome into the first ever episode of the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. I'm your host, Benjamin Ray. So what is the Purple and Gold Hour? It's your look inside the University of North Alabama. For the next 12 Saturdays, we'll be spotlighting faculty and staff members, executive council members, and friends of the university. The University of North Alabama is continuing to grow. Enrollment numbers continue to climb every semester. Academic programs are expanding and offering more and even becoming more accessible. Facilities are constantly being upgraded, being built on campus. The bottom line, the University of North Alabama is no longer the best kept secret around. UNA is located in Florence, Alabama, but the university has a regional draw, and that's what makes WLX such a great partner for UNA, and that's what makes this show work. It all fits North Alabama's geographical blueprint. So each and every week, as part of our football pregame show, you'll be able to catch the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. This show will start 2 hours prior to kickoff. 1 hour prior, we'll kick it into our pregame festivities. And then, of course, we'll take you to kick. This week, we've got a full slate. UNA President Dr. Ken Kitts joins us to give his State of the Union address on affairs at the University of North Alabama. Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ross Alexander, gives his thoughts and updates on campus. We'll get a Marching Pride preview from Director of Bands, Dr. Lloyd Jones. And finally, UNA head soccer coach Chris Walker will join us to talk the 25th anniversary of soccer at the University of North Alabama. It's been quite the week here in Florence as we get set to flip the football schedule. Today, UNA is set to host Southeastern Louisiana at Brawley Municipal Stadium. This game was originally scheduled to be played down in Hammond, Louisiana. Hurricane Ida changed those plans. It's been quite the undertaking by the athletic staff, but here we are, a football Saturday in Florence, Alabama. We'll get you to kick off here in about 2 hours. Coming up next on the Purple and Gold Show, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, Dr. Ken Kitts stops by. That's on the other side of this break. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I knew I wanted to do engineering from Best Robotics that I was in high school. I kind of learned what engineering had to offer, and I knew I was good at problem solving and things like that, good at math and science and stuff. I came to UNA and figured out what it was, what it had to offer. After learning about the program, it was exactly what I wanted to do. This program really prepares you to go into the industry, and it is preparing me for exactly the types of jobs I want to do. The community here is definitely different than other programs. I can call up really any of my professors or email them or just step in their office and knock on the door, and they're always available. And it's really more conducive for learning than other programs where, you're in a huge class or something like that.
I really had some aspirations that maybe they'd go to school here as well, because we're both alumni. We're just thrilled to see all three of our boys in school here.
A view of UNA that I've run into a lot is people say it's just, it's your own backyard, or, it's a little hometown school or something like that. But every school is in somebody's backyard, and there are people that go here and get the exact same internships and the same opportunities, and if not more opportunities, because we're a local school. And it was just something that I knew was a great fit for me.
I've always had an affinity for medicine and taking care of people. I love taking care of kids. Doctors don't really get that personal connection with patients that a nurse would. And that's what I like the most, and that's what I want to provide for other people. I'm majoring in nursing. Specifically, I want to go into pediatrics. My professors here in the College of Nursing are the most amazing professors I've ever had. They actually care about their students. They have all these resources and all these ways of helping. UNA just really goes the extra mile to help students get to where they want to be in life.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight, an inside look at the University of North Alabama. We're gearing up for kickoff. North Alabama and southeastern Louisiana getting set to kick off the 2021 football season here in just about an hour and a half. But first, it's time for our first ever guest of the show. And who better to kick things off for us than the president of the University of North Alabama, Dr. Ken Kitts. Dr. Kitts, thank you for being our first guest here on the Purple and Gold Hour.
Thank you, Ben. I'm thrilled to be here and honored to be the first guest on this show.
So this show came to fruition through our partnership with 98.3 WLX. Not only will the station be home to every football and basketball broadcast that the athletic department does, but shows like this that the university is going to put on to give fans and listeners an inside look at the university. But Dr. Kitts, when you look at this partnership with WLX, how much does it fit with North Alabama's vision of being a regional university?
Ben, I think it's a fantastic fit. I followed the negotiations as we were in contact with WLX and was thrilled that we were able to work things out. Again, the fit is fabulous for us. You mentioned our commitment to be a regional university. We're proud of our home here in Florence and in the Shoals, but we also realize that we're at a point in our growth and in our history where our influence and our power and our ability to make a difference, quite honestly, projects beyond the Shoals, and it should. And we will always serve this area well, but to be able to partner with a station that can carry the good news about UNA beyond this immediate area is an unqualified good for us.
As you mentioned, we are the University of North Alabama, located in Florence, the Shoals area, the Quad Cities, a large presence here. But since you took over as president, just how much has this university grown, the footprint regionally?
Yeah. So when I went through my investiture, which was the summer of 2015, I'd been on the job 4 or 5 months at that point. I made the point then that we have to tell the UNA story as broadly and as loudly as we possibly can. And I think using different mechanisms, including in athletics, to move to Division I. That's another way that you tell the story. We've used the platforms at our disposal to do just that, and I think it's working. And if you look at, for example, our student draw and these large counties like Madison and Shelby and Jefferson that are consistently moving up in our student population. And again, this is, in no way to de-emphasize the Shoals. It's home and will always be, and we do very well with our students right here in Lauderdale and Colbert counties. But still in all, we understand that our growth is tied to these urban areas to which we're adjacent. And so seeing the terrific student and alumni interest in places like Huntsville, Nashville, Birmingham is really gratifying to us.
All right, Dr. Kitts, let's go back to campus. The fall semester is here. Students have arrived on campus. I'm going to go back 2-3 weeks. Of course, you live on campus. Beautiful campus. It looks great right now. The fountain, the lights are up as well. The flowers are as beautiful as ever, in my opinion. But for you, what's it like seeing campus come back to life with the arrival of students?
Wow, it's hard to put that in words. I mean, after what we went through last year, just an absolutely unprecedented year in the history of American higher education and for UNA. And then to be able to see the campus restored to this sense of normalcy, it just warms the heart. It really does. And you mentioned the fountain and being able to bring that back online last spring with that gorgeous new marble fountain that was carved according to the original specifications, and then get it up and have the students out to welcome the fountain back to campus. In a lot of ways, I think that almost became a metaphor, for what we'd been through. The fountain collapsed just before the pandemic hit, and then the fountain returns just as the university is ready to reopen in every way. But a lot of foot traffic on campus, a lot of energy. We've gotten better, even though we're still in the latter phases of the pandemic and still have some challenges. But I think collectively we've gotten better between the vaccines and education campaign about how to go about our normal campus routine. And we're doing just that. We had the outdoor convocation this year at the fountain, and it was just fabulous. I mean, it was packed, and to see the student energy there, just really made you proud to be a UNA Lion.
It certainly does. Let's talk enrollment, always a popular conversation. Enrollment continues to rise. And first of all, what can you tease us about what numbers could potentially look like this fall 2021 semester?
Yeah, so it's exciting, and we rolled out of summer term. We always compare summer to the previous summer, spring to the previous spring, And I think it's worth noting that we've had 10 consecutive semesters of enrollment increases.
Wow.
Which I think is probably unprecedented in our history, because usually enrollment, in any college, bounces around a little bit. But we've had a strong record of success lately, and I'm 99% certain that's going to become 11 consecutive semesters this fall. Last fall, we were just below 8,400 students, which was great, above 8,000 for the first time in our history. And this fall, we're tracking for a number north of 8,500
Wow.
students, and perhaps even closer to 9,000. So this is a really nice enrollment trajectory. When I came on board in 2015, we were 6,850 students, and so now to be knocking on the door of 9,000 students just tells you that there's a lot of energy out there about UNA.
And what do you contribute this continuous rise in enrollment to?
There's always been a lot of great things going on here, and we have a great story to tell, a beautiful campus and a great setting here, into Court Street, Florence, and the wonderful history and the Lion and the academic programs. I mean, it's all here. I think as much as anything, I've just encouraged folks to think more intentionally about telling the story and not just assuming that the rest of the world is going to discover what we have up here in the Shoals. Again, I often complain that when I came here, too many people were saying we're the best kept secret in Alabama, and you simply can't be a secret. And we've set out not to be a secret. And with enrollment, we've always said if we can get the student from Huntsville or Birmingham or Lawrenceburg to come visit our campus, we can land them. Right? I mean, where else are they going to go? Where they have this, right? The welcoming campus, the great faculty and staff, beautiful campus, walking distance to one of the most vibrant downtowns in Alabama. But we've got to get them here, and we've got to tell the story. And this partnership with WLX is a huge part of that.
You're heading into, I believe, your 7th year now at North Alabama. We've talked about enrollment, but what are some of the other benchmarks that this university has reached that you're most proud of?
Well, I'd say recently, if you look at the last 12 months, we became a doctoral granting university. That was one of our goals, really dating back to when we decided to go Division I in athletics. We had a long and very heartfelt discussion with the faculty and said this is about the transformation of the university, not just the athletic program. And we're committed to becoming Division I in everything from campus life to academics, and of course inclusive of athletics. And so part and parcel of the kind of the growth of our academic program was to add doctoral degrees, and we've done that now. Last spring it was the Executive Doctor of Business Administration, and then this fall our first PhD program in exercise science opened. When I came to the university, we had an honors program, a good honors program, but now we have an honors college, and it's a named honors college, the Dolores and Weldon Cole Honors College, that has a certain cachet and appeal for our students, and it's growing rapidly. About 10% of our undergraduate population is now part of the Cole Honors College, and so that's qualitative as well as quantitative growth here at the university. In terms of facilities, we already mentioned getting the fountain back. That's huge for us. Gorgeous new nursing building, Harrison Hall, home of the Anderson College of Nursing and Health Professions. It's state-of-the-art. Our nursing program has long been one of the best in the state, and now we're able to give them a facility that compares very favorably to any other university that's out there. And then, of course, in athletics, we've done very well with the transition and now enter our 4th and final year to active Division I status.
We're chatting with UNA President Dr. Ken Kitts. Before we shift gears into athletics, let's talk about Project 208, a big undertaking since you took over at the University of North Alabama. And I know we've made great strides in getting adequate funding from the state here in Alabama. What kind of update can you give us about how far this university has come?
Yeah, so we're now entering year 5 of Project 208. And for our listeners that are just now dialing into that initiative, our campus is 208 miles from the state capitol in Montgomery, where funding decisions are made for Alabama public universities. And that means that of the 14 public universities in this state, we're simply farther away from the center of political power. And if you look back over the last decades, century, really, what that has translated into is that it's been harder for us to be seen and heard in Montgomery. And over the years, we have not been funded at the same level of our peer schools. And Alabama is one of these states where funding on a campus-by-campus basis is not tied to enrollment. It's not tied to performance. It's very political process. So you have to be heard. And being where we're at up here in the northwestern corner of the state, we just have to work harder to be heard. And so we broke down the numbers and saw that we were really kind of in last place by country mile. In 2017, we launched Project 208 and tried to be as strategic as we could in ramping up our governmental relations, alumni relations effort so that we could get that visibility in Montgomery. And slowly but surely what you've seen is every year our status in Montgomery with these annual funding decisions has increased. This past year in the legislative session, we finished first among the 14 universities in Alabama in percentage increase over the previous year. Wonderful news, and it allows us to do some different things this year, great things for our students that otherwise we couldn't do if the new dollars weren't rolling in. At the same time, when you start in a $10 million hole, and that's our difference, we were $10 million behind schools of similar size in Alabama, you can finish first on a yearly basis and still be in last place. So we've got to continue with Project 208. By my best guess, we need about 2 to 3 more years of increases at the level we saw in the 2021 session just to get out of last place and to pull alongside those other schools. So we're going to stay at it, but linking arms, we're beginning to see the kind of success that we had hoped for.
Dr. Kitts, few more things for you before we let you go. Athletically, fourth and final year of the Division I transition. Dr. Josh Looney getting set to take over as athletic director. His reign, I guess, starting this week. Year 4, we're about to be fully eligible, fully Division I, hopefully next year when that arrives. But what has excited you most throughout this transition?
Oh, I think watching the university at long last get the attention it needs because we're playing on that larger stage and using the Division I athletic program as that platform to tell the UNA story. And when men's basketball comes out with the announcement that they're going to be playing Gonzaga again, right? Again, this is a national story. Our football team playing BYU last year. The ladies beating Vanderbilt, and it's just. It's that larger stage that we craved and that we thought would be there when we embarked on this journey with the announcement back in 2016. We had no illusions. It's a long haul. It's a tough haul. And with the prohibition against postseason play, we knew it was going to be harder to recruit for a few years, and it has been. But hopefully we're on the tail end of that as we go into this fourth and final year. I would say there haven't been a lot of shocks and ugly surprises. We planned well. We have met our benchmarks. We've been advanced by the NCAA every year. Financially, it's working out exactly as we'd hoped and intended that it would. So, again, it's an unqualified good. It's exciting as we look forward to shedding the transitional label next summer and joining the ranks of Division I as a full and active member at long last.
Dr. Kitts, this has been great. There's a lot I wanted to get to with you that I didn't have time for. We're certainly going to have you back. Last thing for you, as we head into this 2021-2022 academic year, what excites you most about what's happening with the University of North Alabama?
Well, we'll see where enrollment lands. Again, I think we're going to have some great news here in a couple of months. And then we're going to take a deep breath and kind of talk about what does the next stage of development look like for the university. I mean, we're checking important boxes, doctoral programs, honors college. I think with athletics particularly, it seems like for so long we've been chasing Division I, and now we're within a year of catching Division I in every way that you can hope to catch that status. And so I think the opportunity for us with Dr. Looney coming on as Director of Athletics is for us all to take a deep breath and with his expertise say, now what are we going to do with it? And what are we going to do with it athletically? What does this mean for UNA athletics? What does it mean for the university as a whole? And I think as good as things have been for us over the last few years, the future possibilities are incredibly exciting, and there's probably opportunities out there I can't even begin to imagine now, but I look forward to reaching for them.
We're looking forward to it as well. Dr. Kitts, thank you for kicking things off with us.
Thank you, Ben. It's been a pleasure.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. We'll take a timeout. When we return, Dr. Lloyd Jones is going to join us to give you a preview of the Marching Pride. Back after this on the Purple and Gold Hour.
I came and visited UNA and I saw the atmosphere and the student life, which really fit me and I knew that I would be able to do once I got here at UNA.
If
I had to pick one thing about UNA that made me want to come here, it would just be campus and the life that you see on campus. With UNA just being so close, that's not what I thought that I wanted. And so when I came and I realized I'm still going to have the same opportunities as someone who went to a larger university, that was one of the things that drew me in.
With UNA being student-oriented, I know I will get smaller classes. The teachers are very dedicated in helping me understand the material. I feel like they really care that I succeed. If you're hesitant about whether you should or shouldn't get your master's, but you know that you want or need to, you should just do it, because you don't know where it's going to take you. And you don't know until you get on that path.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling, to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
Welcome back into the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, welcoming you back in. And don't forget, athletic seasons are in full swing. Visit RoarLions.com for full schedules, recaps, news, and more. Soccer, volleyball, and cross country are all underway, and football kicks off the 2021 football season this evening against Southeastern Louisiana. That game and pregame show will follow this Purple and Gold Hour. As we're talking football, you're gearing up for football Saturdays. Tailgating, you're getting your season tickets, getting schedules ready, making your plans to come down to Brawley Stadium. And of course, a huge part of game days at UNA, the Marching Pride. And with that, we welcome in our next guest, the UNA Director of Bands, Dr. Lloyd Jones. He's conductor of the UNA Wind Symphony and Symphonic Band. He directs the Jazz Band, Studio Lab Band, Jazz Combo, and the Marching Band. In addition to these performing organizations, Dr. Jones teaches as well, selected saxophone and clarinet students, music fundamentals, and band arranging and drill writing. He also conducts the Miss UNA Pageant Orchestra at the University of North Alabama. From the Department of Music, Dr. Jones, did I hit it all there in your bio and intro?
I think you pretty much got it.
All right, so how ready is the Marching Pride to get back into a full season of marching and entertaining fans?
Well, thank you for having me on, Ben. Appreciate it. They are itching, ready to go. They are really working hard. They've been out there this week. You know, temperatures have been soaring, and yet they're hydrating and getting themselves ready to be acclimated to the weather. So they're ready to go. They're looking forward to September 11th.
Let's talk about the show this year. What can you tell us about the theme and what fans will see?
Well, it's very timely. All of it just kind of worked out. The show is entitled Respect, just like the movie, but it was actually a part of our plan before we knew there was a movie coming out. We had chosen to take the music of iconic female singers and develop a show around that. We've been working on this for about 18 months, and so you're going to hear the music. Of course, you're going to hear Aretha Franklin, but you're also going to hear Katy Perry and Linda Ronstadt and Karen Carpenter and Dolly Parton and so many wonderful female artists from so many different genres of music. We're fitting it all in there somehow. So it's going to be really entertaining for the audience.
All right, you mentioned 18 months ago that the inspiration really came for this show. Take us through how you put a show together. Does the music come first and then the drill? Does it all sort of come together at once?
Well, it's always music first. That's the meat and potatoes of what you're doing. And it really started with Aretha Franklin's hit Natural Woman. We knew we wanted to include that in a show somehow. And so we started looking out at Aretha Franklin's music and then other artists, and it kept broadening. And we eventually decided, there's so much great music by iconic female artists. Let's just do the show around that. And so we started developing a list of songs that were conducive for what we do on the field, and picking from this artist and that artist. And sometimes, you may hear almost a full tune. Sometimes you will hear a full song. Sometimes it's just the musical hook, just one measure of music that represents that artist. And so there are about 18 to 20 female artists represented in this show, but you have to listen hard to get all of them.
That's incredible. The drill, the marching formations out there. How do you come up with that?
Well, that is really it's like a 12-minute math problem. It all depends on numbers of people, and routing them in such a way that those numbers work with other numbers of people on the field. So if you have a section, say, with 16 people, well, that has a square root of 4, so that's going to be great. Anything that breaks down into 4s and 8s works great. Prime numbers, probably not so great, but we can do some things with that too. So you're looking at the composition of each section in the band, what they're capable of doing, what the demands on them will be, and then how that works with everything else. It's really a lot of push and pull, and you want to make it conducive for the audience. You want them to be able to enjoy the show and direct their eyes where they can look and see who's being featured. When the majorettes are out front, we want them looking at the majorettes. So we set the drill up to present the majorettes in a positive way, so everybody looks there. And it can be a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. And I tell you, the students we have are so great to work with because they will actually work. They actually want it to be a great product when they get out there. And so they push each other to do the best they can.
We didn't know we were going to be getting a math lesson in this conversation. Hey, let's talk about the students. Numbers with the band. How many will be out on the field this year?
236 performers, a little larger than last year. The COVID kept our numbers down. There were some kids who didn't come to school last year. And so this year we're seeing some of them come back through, plus a little bit larger freshman class. So that's great. And we always average in the 230 to 250, somewhere in there, and which is a really good size for us. You have to operate within budgets, and when you add students, that's more buses, more uniforms, more instruments, more food. So you have to operate within what works with your budget, and so that's right about where we need to be.
Break down the instrumentation for us and what that looks like this year.
Well, there's 84 brass players, which is large. There's 20 tubas. We don't usually have 20 tuba players at UNA, but this year there's 20. There's 26 trumpets, 16 mellophones or French horns. There's 24 baritone and trombone players. There are 40 percussionists. There are 43 woodwind players. There's 57 in the auxiliary groups. And so you put all that together and you break them into subgroups and then subgroups of those subgroups and figure out how you put all that together for a drill.
Before we move on from this year's show, I always love the drum feature. You mentioned the majorettes. A lot of people love seeing the majorettes and the high kicks. I love when the trumpets squeal as well. Yeah. What are some of your favorite pieces of this show, and maybe some things fans should look out for while they're watching you guys?
There's so much good music in this show. Like I said, we started with Natural Woman, so that's going to be the big finale of the show. A lot of squealing trumpets in there. There's a percussion feature based on Britney Spears' tune Toxic. Now, the percussionist brought that to me, and I have to tell you, I didn't even know that was a song. I'd heard of Britney Spears. I knew who she was, but I really don't keep up with her music. But as soon as I started listening to it at my house, all of my kids were like, "Why are you listening to Britney Spears?" They knew exactly what that was. So that's going to reach a different audience in the stands. It's going to reach a younger audience. There's stuff by Barbra Streisand in there, Karen Carpenter, like I said, Aretha Franklin, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Peggy Lee. The Linettes Are Dancing to Fever by Peggy Lee, which is one of the most recorded songs ever, but her original version is what we wanted to use as the vehicle to feature them. Barbra Streisand's version of Luck Be a Lady Tonight, which we a lot of times think of as a Frank Sinatra tune.
That's right.
But many female vocalists have recorded that, and she had a wonderful version. And then Katy Perry's Fireworks will start off the show. So it's a real exciting show, very accessible. Everyone's going to hear something that they enjoy in this show.
Now, you're mentioning artists and tunes that cover everybody's interest. And you mentioned the drummers coming to you, the percussionists with an idea for their feature. How often do the students have ideas for shows like this?
Quite often. We encourage them to submit any ideas they may have because they're looking at it through a different lens. And they may come up with the same selection that I might or one of our other directors may, but they would have a different motivation or a different reason for doing that. And so we like to get their point of view. We want them to enjoy performing the show and to select tunes that they can learn from, but also that they're going to be familiar with them. And that just makes everything work a little better. And so we encourage them to submit ideas all the time.
Let's talk about September 11th. First home football game, and it's a big one for the Marching Pride. It's the Marching Band Extravaganza, and I know high schools from all across the state and the region will be coming in. Tell us a little bit about this Saturday, September 11th, and what it looks like for you guys.
It's going to be a wonderful day. Of course, we're commemorating the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I can't believe it's been that long, and I know you can remember and I can remember where we were when that happened. But we have to remember these students performing were not around. Most of them weren't around.
It's crazy to think.
Or they can't remember. They were so young. And so we have to educate them on that. And so the Marching Band Extravaganza is really a marching honor band where students come in and practice with our band all Saturday morning. Then that night they come and participate in a segment of halftime. And this year we will be saluting all the armed forces, all of our healthcare workers and professionals, our EMTs and first responders. We're saluting all those people that make it possible for us to enjoy the life we're living. There will be some patriotic music. There will be a fireworks show during halftime. So it's going to be quite the spectacle, and we're really looking forward to it.
For parents, for prospective students, high schoolers listening, how can they get involved?
Well, anyone can be a member of the UNA Marching Band. You do not have to be a music major. We have about 30 to 35% of the kids who are actually majoring in music and will study that and have a profession in that. That means there's a lot more kids who are studying other fields than studying music, and we enjoy having them in there as well. And they can all get a scholarship to be in the band. We don't limit it to music majors, so all they have to do is contact the Department of Music, or even more directly, just contact me. And we can get them set up with an audition and get them in there. We've had kids who marched 3, 4, 5 years who are not music majors, but there's something they're really good at doing and something they can get money to go to school on, so they're going to do it while they're in college.
You're heading into your 22nd fall here at the University of North Alabama. I want to talk a little bit about your background. And just a little fun question. Do you have a favorite show as you look back at some of the marching things you guys have done?
You know, I'm a huge Duke Ellington fan. I think he is one of the greatest, most prolific songwriters that there's ever been. And his music has influenced so many others. I don't think popular music would sound like it does had it not been for Duke Ellington back in the swing era. And so the shows where we're able to do some Ellington music probably are my favorites. But, you know, sometimes shows that I may be a little lukewarm on, they end up being the most successful. You can't ever tell what's going to connect with an audience. And that's our job, is make those connections and make them enjoy it, make them realize that once they've seen the UNA band, they have a new definition in their mind of what a collegiate band should be. That's always the goal, is to be the best. And I think most years we're able to do that. The students always tell me they have favorite shows, and it's the ones that get the most response from the audience.
Now, I want to talk about your background just a little bit. What was it like for you? Your father means so much to the university. Growing up, and I'll call you guys the first family of UNA music, if you will, but your background growing up here at UNA.
You know, it was just something I always knew. It was always there. You know, weekends were going to UNA and going to football games and watching the band. And then I came here as a student and was just a member of the band. I actually did not major in music for my first degree, but I got a minor in it and I was very involved in it. And ended up coming back and finishing that degree and never intended to teach here at all. And just through circumstances where one of the directors, the assistant director, Mr. Tom Risher, who was a wonderful educator, had some health issues late in the summer and could not fulfill his duties with the marching band. And so the dean called and said, hey, would you step in on a graduate assistantship and fulfill that? And so it gave me a way to work on my master's, and I did that. And by the end of the year, I'd been hired half-time to help with the Woodwind Studios. And one thing led to another. And then when I was actually slated to leave here and go take another job, and my father, unbeknownst to me, decided he would retire. He had been teaching for so long that he could actually retire and get a pay raise. And with me leaving, I'd been writing the marching band shows, and he just really didn't want to get back into all that. It's very time-consuming. So his accountant, who was a former band member, said, you realize you've been teaching long enough. You can retire and make more money. And he said, well, that sounds like a good idea. So then President Robert Potts called me and said, hey, I'd like for you to take this over. I didn't know what he was talking about. Ended up taking it over. I had an interim year and had to apply for the job. Ended up getting it, and then the rest is history. I just never left. Although I tried to leave 2 or 3 times, I've never left, and I consider that a blessing. You know, when other colleges come calling, I have to look at their town and decide, would I want to raise my kids in that town? And I've never found a place that I'd rather raise my kids other than Shoals. There's just nothing like it. It's a wonderful university. It's a wonderful community. I don't know why anybody ever want to leave, and usually they don't. Once they're here, they usually enjoy it.
It certainly is a special place. Dr. Jones, Couple more things for you before I let you go. We've talked a lot of marching band, Department of Music. What are the other opportunities for students out there?
There are lots. Within the department, there are so many organizations in which they can be a member and participate. And most of them offer performance awards. So any student who plays any instrument or sings should get in touch with the Department of Music and see what options are there for them. Do an audition, see how much money you can get, and just get involved. It's something that they won't regret. It'll be a wonderful outlet for them.
Before we let you go, we know fans can catch the Marching Pride at every home football game. You guys do a lot of exhibitions Friday nights at high schools. How can they follow you guys? How can they get your tour schedule?
If they just want to join on Facebook, just the University of North Alabama Bands on Facebook, we will post everything there, and they can find out where we're performing every weekend.
Dr. Jones, I can't wait to hear you guys here in this next couple of weeks.
Thank you so much.
That's Dr. Lloyd Jones. We appreciate him joining us here on the Purple and Gold Hour. We'll take a timeout. We'll have more coverage to come. Back after this on the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I knew I wanted to do engineering from Best Robotics that I was in high school. I kind of learned what engineering had to offer, and I knew I was good at problem solving and things like that, good at math and science and stuff. I came to UNA and figured out what it was, what it had to offer. After learning about the program, it was exactly what I wanted to do. This program really prepares you to go into the industry, and it is preparing me for exactly the types of jobs I want to do. The community here is definitely different than other programs. I can call up really any of my professors or email them or just step in their office and knock on the door, and they're always available. And it's really more conducive for learning than other programs where, you're in a huge class or something like that.
I really had some aspirations that maybe they'd go to school here as well, because we're both alumni. We're just thrilled to see all three of our boys in school here.
A view of UNA that I've run into a lot is people say it's just, it's your own backyard, or, it's a little hometown school or something like that. But every school is in somebody's backyard, and there are people that go here and get the exact same internships and the same opportunities, and if not more opportunities, because we're a local school. And it was just something that I knew was a great fit for me.
I've always had an affinity for medicine and taking care of people. I love taking care of kids. Doctors don't really get that personal connection with patients that a nurse would. And that's what I like the most, and that's what I want to provide for other people. I'm majoring in nursing. Specifically, I want to go into pediatrics. My professors here in the College of Nursing are the most amazing professors I've ever had. They actually care about their students. They have all these resources and all these ways of helping. UNA just really goes the extra mile to help students get to where they want to be in life.
Welcome back into the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight, an inside look at the University of North Alabama. Benjamin Ray welcoming you back in, and I'm excited to welcome into the show Dr. Ross Alexander, University of North Alabama Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Alexander, thanks for being our next guest here on the Purple and Gold Show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege.
Now, the fall semester has arrived. We're about 2-3 weeks into classes now. For you in your role, what's it like seeing campus come back to life with the arrival of a new semester?
It's absolutely fantastic, right? There were so many questions last fall. And this fall, while not quite normal, there is a sense of normalcy and vibrancy and excitement on campus that is infectious.
Now, this new venture for the university sees us partner with 98.3 WLX for athletic broadcasts and allows us to have this university-driven show, the Purple and Gold Hour. The reach takes us from the Shoals in northwest Alabama into southern parts of Tennessee, Nashville's big backyard. In your opinion, how does this fit with UNA's blueprint of being a strong regional university?
It fits very, very well. It aligns very, very well. We are, of course, representative of our region here in the Shoals, but our brand and our scope is ever expanding, and that is especially true into Nashville's big backyard, where we have an increasing number of students in our face-to-face on-campus programs as well as our online programs. So as the big backyard grows and UNA grows, the partnership just makes perfect sense.
We just heard from University President Dr. Ken Kitts a few segments back. We talked enrollment with him, I believe 10 straight semesters of enrollment, increasing record enrollments. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, if we count this semester, it's actually 11, right? And we are, even though census isn't until October 29th, it's our diversified strategic enrollment strategy. And that includes being a first choice institution for on-campus students, what we used to call traditional students, kind of those 18 to 23-year-olds, for online baccalaureate adult students earning their degree while working and having been out of college for some time, online graduate students, mid-career managers and leaders and executives, as well as international students. And we are increasingly a first choice institution for all four of those very important student constituencies. And some of those grow at a greater percentage than others, but that calculus results in record growth each and every semester.
You mentioned online growth. I wanted to jump into distance learning with you, and it's really changing the way you approach postgraduate degrees. For listeners out there that might be interested in thinking of getting another degree, what are some of the options that UNA can present to make it easy for them?
We have a whole host of flexible online degrees at the bachelor's, master's, certificate, and micro-credential level. We have programs for just about every type of student, every type of learner, whether they're trying to upskill or credential to improve in their current occupation or earn a degree to get a new, better occupation or position. Our hallmark of online education is really leveraged on three things: affordability, flexibility, and reputation, right? So we have the same accreditations as the gold standard institutions in the academic marketplace, like AACSB and ABET. Our price point is very, very competitive, and we have a flexible schedule where learners can take advantage of 3-week courses, 4-week courses, 8-week courses, 15-week courses in relatively compressed manners to accelerate their degree completion to be able to use those credentials or those degrees immediately in the marketplace.
And of course, for more information, listeners can visit una.edu if they're interested in those programs. Staying on the academic side, several new academic programs are launching in 2021, including UNA's second doctoral program, a PhD in exercise science and health promotions. What does it do for UNA being able to offer PhD programs like this now?
It really puts us in a higher class of peers across the state, region, and even world, right? We successfully launched our first doctoral program, the Executive Doctor of Business Administration, in January, and it has gone extremely well. Our first PhD program, the PhD in Exercise Science and Health Promotion, launched with 9 students this fall. That is a campus-based degree. It is more of a teaching and research intensive degree, a true PhD program. And Dean Kinney and Dr. Green and Dr. Helm Allen and their team have done just an amazing job of launching it. We had the good fortune of touring the Human Performance Lab, the renovated Human Performance Lab, where students and faculty members working together in a very applied manner are providing solutions around exercise physiology, including with our athletics teams, but also for NASA, for example.
Talking with Dr. Ross Alexander, University of North Alabama Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. This is a great inside look at campus, and campus continues to grow not just with academic programs, but buildings as well. Norton Auditorium has been renovated. The Anderson College of Nursing and Health Professions has moved into the new state-of-the-art Laura M. Harrison Hall, phenomenal facility. What other campus projects can you tell us about?
Sure, and I'm pleased that you mentioned those two because they were completed very, very well. Harrison Hall is a beautiful facility for our Anderson College of Nursing and Health Professions and our nursing programs, but also for campus writ large. If you go in there on any given Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're going to see history classes and English classes and all sorts of other classes taking place there in Harrison Hall. Cranes mean progress, right? And under President Kitts' leadership, we've had tremendous progress with regard to our capital projects as a direct result of Project 208, right? And we're now seeing the fruits of those efforts on campus. The computer science and mathematics building is going to be a $22 million project to benefit those rapidly growing and increasingly popular programs. We are committed to doubling the size of our suite of computer science and information systems programs because employers are demanding our graduates, right? And math is a complementary program to computer science. We're really, really excited about that facility. Site work and construction, including the demolition of the mathematics building, should begin in October, and we would hope to have that project completed by summer of 2023.
It's great seeing all this growth on campus. I want to shift gears and talk a little bit athletics with you. You played college football and all-conference offensive lineman at Beloit College in Wisconsin, and I feel like you're the staple of what a student-athlete can really work into. But in your opinion, how do athletics and academics go together on a college campus like this?
Well, we're so excited about the positive momentum behind Dr. Looney's hiring as Director of Athletics, but also our full membership in Division I, as our teams and our student athletes have had success. And we have almost kind of organically co-branded Division I athletics with Division I academics. And our growth, where we'll be very, very close to 9,000 students this fall, our success in our online programs, our graduate programs, our students doing very, very great things with Fulbright awards, and just the elevation of academic quality and student success kind of goes hand in hand with our Division I athletic success. And as we talked about at the outset here, our student athletes are amongst our very best students on campus. Their collective GPA of 3.3, I believe, is absolutely stellar. We do very, very well in APR. They're majoring in some of the most difficult majors on campus. So our student athletes are in many ways what we aspire to from an academic perspective in terms of student performance.
Dr. Alexander, last thing for you. I certainly appreciate the time, but your University of North Alabama pitch, what excites you most? What would you tell to people interested in UNA about why they should come down to Florence and check out campus?
Well, UNA is hitting on all cylinders, whether it be from brand expansion, from enrollment growth, programmatic growth, and just the residents of UNA locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. It's very pleasing to be a part of that. We have students from over 60 countries, from 47 or 48 states, choosing UNA for their degree, either on campus or online. And I don't think there are too many universities that we would call peers or even aspirational peers that can tell that very same story.
A lot of exciting things happening on campus. Dr. Ross Alexander, UNA Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're listening to the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. We're working towards kickoff. North Alabama hosting Southeastern Louisiana. We got more coverage to come. We'll be back after this on the Purple and Gold Hour.
I came to UNA and figured out kind of what it was, what it had to offer. After learning about the program, it was exactly what I wanted to do. This program really prepares you to go into the industry, and it is preparing me for exactly the types of jobs I want to do. People say it's just, it's your own backyard, or, it's a little hometown school or something like that. But every school is in somebody's backyard, and there are people that go here and get the exact same internships and the same opportunities, and if not more opportunities, because we're a local school. And it was just something that I knew was a great fit for me.
I've always had an affinity for medicine and taking care of people. I love taking care of kids. Doctors don't really get that personal connection with patients that a nurse would. And that's what I like the most, and that's what I want to provide for other people. I'm majoring in nursing. Specifically, I want to go into pediatrics. My professors here in the College of Nursing are the most amazing professors I've ever had. They actually care about their students. They have all these resources and all these ways of helping. UNA just really goes the extra mile to help students get to where they want to be in life.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
You're listening to the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight, an inside look at the University of North Alabama. Benjamin Ray, happy to be back with you on this Saturday. We're getting set for North Alabama football to kick off against Southeastern Louisiana. An audible's been called. This game now being played in Florence, Alabama at Brawley Stadium. Of course, you catch the call of the game right here on WLX. We're still going to talk football here in this segment, but a different kind of football. UNA head soccer coach Chris Walker joins us. Coach Walker, thanks for hopping on with us.
No, thank you. So it's nice to be here. It's nice to have a home football game under the circumstances that's happened. We've been going back and forth. One of our former assistants, Chris McBride's down at Southeast Louisiana as well. So it's nice that they're all safe and we've got them up here for a game.
We want to talk soccer. We want to talk Year of the Woman. We want to talk 25th year of UNA soccer at the University of North Alabama. There's a lot going on with the soccer program this year.
Yeah, it's a big year. Obviously, the Year of the Woman for the school and our 25th anniversary for having a women's soccer program here at UNA, which is fantastic. It's come around so fast. So there's a lot of people that have done some amazing things over the last 25 years. So it's great to just be a part of it and be involved in it this year.
Let's talk 25 years of UNA soccer. You're the second longest tenured soccer coach in program history, and you've also coached some of the all-time greats. Everybody thinks of the Chloes, Chloe Roberts, Chloe Richards, the top two goal scorers of all time. Kylie Huey, a name that comes to mind. Shelby Wall. I mean, for you, what's it been like watching the growth of this program?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, just some of those names there. We take every single one of them back in a heartbeat. We can score plenty of goals with all those, but just being involved, there's been so many ladies that have been here over my 9 years of being here. It's been a pleasure to work with, and there's been some fantastic athletes that have come through. And obviously, we've got Holly here right now, and she leads the minutes played on the record books for women's soccer here. So she's great to have around, and she has a big impact on the girls as well. So it's been fantastic just to come in and work with them every day. It just makes my job that much easier.
We talk Lion legends all the time. Holly Loud, your assistant coach, played here at North Alabama. She was on the school's first conference championship team. So you know UNA soccer means a lot to her. But what does it mean to this program to have someone like her who holds records still affiliated with the program?
I think it's just the level of respect she gains from the girls. And she's been there, she's done that, she's played here, and she could still jump in practice. And we'd still take her in our starting 11 right now, I think. So she might not last 90 minutes now, but no, she's fantastic to have around. She's a vital part of our coaching staff, and the girls love her to death, and she's great to have around. She's not afraid to say no to me and challenge us, and that's the best part of it. We work well together, and I think it brings the best out of both of us.
Talking with UNA head soccer coach Chris Walker, 25 years of soccer at the University of North Alabama. Not just UNA soccer, but women's soccer in America. How much has it grown since you came over to the States?
Oh, I mean, it's been fantastic. I mean, just the women's national team have been the team to beat and still are the team to beat, but it's just the women's professional league since I've been here has gone back and forth, but it seems to be on the uprise now, and it's getting stronger and stronger, and you're seeing the more publicity coming out for it and everything like that. So the more backing, I think the more support they continue to get, the stronger and stronger it's going to be as well. And just women's soccer all over the world is growing, and you've just seen the Olympics, how competitive that was. and it's just great to see. So there's more opportunities to watch it on TV and things like that now. So it's just, hopefully it continues to develop.
I want to ask you a question about the Shoals area. UNA's campus as a whole, all three of your coaches, yourself included, are from England. You have players from all across the world, not just on this team, but every year you have players from all over that come over and play. What is one thing about the University of North Alabama that just always impresses them?
Oh, I mean, obviously you've got the Lion on campus. I think every time we bring anyone in on a visit, we just leave it, meet the mascot, and everyone's like, why do I want to meet someone dressed in a costume? It's like going to Disney and meeting Mickey. And then you get here and you see Leo with a 500-pound lion, and it's not really a costume anymore, and that's impressive. And then obviously you've got the shoals, the river, and the people around here. It sells itself. And then the music scene, everything about the shoals is fantastic. And as soon as we get people here, it's like, wow. So hopefully we can keep that wow factor and keep moving forward.
You've got a big stretch coming up this coming Sunday, the 5th, against South Alabama at home. Then next week, UT Chattanooga comes in on the 10th, and I really want to highlight next Sunday's game on the 12th. Austin Peay coming to Florence, Alabama, 1 p.m. kick. And why is this game big? That's the 25th anniversary game. Tell us about some of the things that will be going on with that ball game.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's nice to bring Austin Peay back. Their coach, Naomi over there, used to be a GA here with Graham. So it's great to just have that little connection there. It was just uniquely worked out that way. Well, actually wasn't planned that way, and it just happened Austin Peay were coming in for that game, so that worked out. But then before the game, we're going to get all the ladies together that come back and get the team together and do a little luncheon, and then obviously get everyone get out and watch the game, and hopefully we can put in a good performance for them all and watch a good women's soccer match.
Coach Walker, we're excited. We thank you for the time. 25 years of UNA soccer. It's an exciting year coming up, final year of the transition. Thank you for the great work you do with UNA soccer.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's UNA head soccer coach Chris Walker on the Purple and Gold Hour. We'll take one more time out. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama.
There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy, but totally worth it.
Wrapping up the first ever episode of the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Benjamin Ray back for the wrap-up. We appreciate you tuning in to our first episode. We'll be back before every UNA home football game 2 hours prior. Big shout out to all of our guests that join us. Dr. Ken Kitts. I always love talking to Dr. Kitts. His vision for the university, it's why we are where we are today. Of course, we'll have Dr. Kitts back in at some point down the line. I didn't even get to ask Dr. Kitts about his next-door neighbor, Leo the Lion. But we'll get you an update on Leo at some point. Thanks again to Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ross Alexander. There's no one that knows more about the University of North Alabama and what's happening than Dr. Alexander. Again, we didn't get to cover everything with him. We'll have him back on as well. He can tell us all about the academic offerings and what is happening. I enjoyed the conversation with Dr. Lloyd Jones, previewing the Marching Pride. Again, there was so much more coverage to get in with him. You can catch the Marching Pride at every single home football game. You can also catch them at some of the showcases that they do as well. And UNA head soccer coach Chris Walker stopped by. Coach Walker, one of the best coaches to chat with here at the University of North Alabama. He's done a great job with the soccer program. 25th anniversary of UNA soccer. You got 3 chances coming up over the next week to catch the Lions at home. As always, you can get full athletic schedules on RoarLions.com. That'll do it for the first ever edition. When we return, we'll take you inside Brawley Stadium. It's a football Saturday in Florence, Alabama. It's the University of North Alabama hosting Southeastern Louisiana inside of Brawley Stadium. The 4th and final year of the Division I transition is set to get underway. That's it for episode 1. I'm Benjamin Ray saying so long for now. This has been the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
This has been the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Thanks for listening, and remember that you can catch the Purple and Gold Show 2 hours prior to every football game right here on 98.3 WLX, the home of the Lions. Roar Lions!